Hello and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. We're discussing today how you can transform your team with capacity management made easy. My name is Lisa and I'm the lead researcher for legal app data and the head of content and creative in the marketing team here at Fliplet. And I'm joined by our app solutions manager, Brett. Just a brief reminder to please ask any questions that you have during the webinar or share any suggestions that you have. We'd love to hear from you. These can be sent privately via the Q&A option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. The agenda for today's webinar is to cover the challenges with current methods of managing employee capacity. We'll take a look at an overview of capacity management features. Then we'll discuss the benefits of having capacity management features inside your directory, followed by a demo in Fliplet Studio with Brett. We'll chat through some of the recommended next steps that we have and answer any questions at the end if we do have time. So let's first cover what we mean by capacity management. When we're looking at a solution that has capacity management features, it helps your organization to become more flexible, clear, and connected. It lets you see who's available to work in a given time frame so you can track workforce availability. It helps you make smarter and more informed choices and also ensures that the right people are working on the right tasks. Ultimately, capacity management features within a digital solution encourages a workplace where everyone knows their responsibilities and they have the freedom to manage their tasks. According to a survey by Capterra, approximately 91% of businesses use at least one software tool for HR purposes, which often includes capacity management features such as time tracking, workload allocation, and performance analytics. This high adoption rate highlights the importance organizations place on leveraging technology to manage staff capacity effectively. And a statistic from Gartner report in 2020 said that 30% of global mid-market and large enterprises were using some form of workforce analytics and planning software for capacity management. This indicates a growing trend among larger organizations to invest in specialized software for managing employee capacity. Now let's take a look at the challenges with current methods of managing employee capacity. There are a number of problems or pitfalls to look out for. First, we have inaccurate data collection. If you're relying on manual methods like spreadsheets, you'll more than likely encounter errors. Not only that, but these methods often don't provide day, time, or week timeframe data, which is crucial for making immediate and effective decisions about employee workload. Next is resource allocation issues. Over-allocation is a serious issue. It can lead to employee burnout and decreased productivity. On the flip side, under-allocation means you're not making the most of your staff, which can lead to increased costs and lower morale. Then there's lack of scalability. If your current system can't adapt to changes like company growth, you're going to face problems. Upgrading to a more scalable solution can be both expensive and time-consuming, which could be a challenge in and of itself. Now onto integration issues. If your data is stored in multiple disconnected systems, it's going to be tough to get a comprehensive view of your workforce. Additionally, if the new tools you're considering aren't compatible with your existing systems, you can't integrate with them, you're looking at potential operational disruptions. We also have employee resistance to consider. Monitoring tools can raise privacy concerns, which can affect employee morale. Plus, there's often resistance to change when introducing new systems, and that can slow down the implementation process. Looking at complexity and usability concerns, some of the more advanced tools have a steep learning curve requiring extensive training. And sometimes these tools offer more features than you actually need, making them cumbersome to use. And let's not forget about regulatory compliance. When you're dealing with employee data, you have to be extremely cautious about how you store and manage it. Regulations like GDPR require stringent security measures. And if you're not careful, you could face penalties or legal issues. Additionally, you need to maintain proper records for compliance, especially when it comes to audits. If your system doesn't have a reliable way to keep track of this data, you're adding another layer of complexity and risk to your operations. So these are a summary of the key challenges organizations face when managing employee capacity. Each of these points could actually be a topic of its own, but understanding them collectively can help organizations to find and use more effective solutions to use. So what should you expect from capacity management features? We've grouped these things that you should expect from capacity management features into 5 groups. First up is data management and scalability. You should expect data analysis, customizable reports, and a system that grows with your organization. It's important to have immediate data analysis to help in making informed decisions, while customization allows focus on relevant metrics. Scalability ensures the system remains useful as your organization evolves. Integration and customization. You should expect seamless integration with existing systems and the ability to tailor features to your needs. It's important to eliminate data silos and provide a comprehensive view of your workforce. Customization ensures the system meets your specific operational requirements. User experience. You should expect an intuitive, user-friendly interface that requires minimal training. It's important to have a system that's easy to use, encourages adoption amongst employees, and facilitates a smoother transition to the new system. Security and compliance. As I mentioned earlier, you should expect robust security features and compliance with regulations like GDPR. It's important to protect employee data as it's not only ethical, but also it's crucial for legal compliance. And lastly is support and training. You should expect access to customer support and training resources both during and after implementation. It's important to have effective training and support to ensure that you're making the most out of the system and provide assistance in case of issues. The benefits of capacity management features inside your directory. We believe that they enable work opportunities to be visible for all staff. It allows for easy allocation of work and adjustment for capacity. And it crucially enables managers to choose appropriate people based on information that you find within the directory. So things like skills, your education, and potentially your project experience. And as always with a Fliplet solution, it's more customizable than a lot of other solutions out there. So let's now take a look at the key features of capacity management. From a user perspective, your staff should have access to see their skills, that will display the relevant skills for better matching with work opportunities. They should be able to see the open work opportunities, find and apply for available work opportunities that are available within the company, and look at assigned work so they can manage and update their own assigned tasks and receive notifications for new opportunities. Staff should be able to see their capacity. They can update daily their work capacity and status, including the reasons for not being able to work. And the default working status. As part of the directory, they'll be able to set a default working status to streamline weekly updates. So whether they're in the office on a particular day of the week and whether they're working from home. From a manager perspective, managers should be able to create new working opportunities and track the status of those. They should manage work opportunities as well by editing existing ones and assigning new work opportunities to staff. And also view workforce capacity and all staff statuses to better understand how work is distributed across the organization. And managers should also be able to view capacity reports and have the ability to review and reuse saved capacity reports. So now before we dive into the demo, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Fliplet if you're not already familiar with what we do. Fliplet is an online tool that enables anyone to very rapidly build apps. Apps from Fliplet run everywhere across Apple, Android, and web, and you create one app and it's optimized to work on any device you need it to. We work with organizations to deliver a range of app solutions, many of which are pre-built, including the directory, events, reference and learning, emergency management, and community solutions, to name just a few. Please don't forget to ask any questions via the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And now it's time to hand over to Brett for the demo.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. So I'll just give a brief overview and then we'll dive right into Fliplet Studio to see how the solution works. So as Lisa mentioned, this is directly integrated into our directory solution. So if you're familiar with that, you'll see a few changes and a few new screens, but we are just going to focus on the capacity features for this demo, given time constraints. There is a new home screen, and that's going to have different user roles. So users that need to log capacity and managers will see different items on the home screen. The users that need to log capacity will be able to do that, and they will get weekly notifications as a reminder to log their capacity. You'll be able to update your profile so users can update their skills, a default working status so they don't have to set every week where they're working from, and their notification preferences. Managers will be able to create and assign work opportunities. Users will be able to respond to and apply to work opportunities. Managers also have a report and the ability to review user capacity. They will also have lists available, and admins have a new notification management system. We think notifications are pretty critical for capacity management. Unfortunately, because of how Studio works, I won't be able to show the notifications. I'll try to point out when they would occur, though, and you should be able to see it in the solution when it is live. And then an update to the directory solution should happen next week, so keep an eye out for that. Let me go ahead and just share my screen now, and we will dive right into Fliplet Studio. Okay, so right off the bat, as I mentioned, we have a new home screen available. Looks great on any device size. We have a menu here, a manager menu. This is specifically for people that are capacity managers. A list of new joiners, and a list of open work opportunities that people can apply to. Keep it in mobile view for now, but let's walk through some of the new sections. So we'll start with updating capacity. As I said, there will be a weekly reminder. We're defaulting it to like 9 a.m. on Monday, I think. Again, this can be adjusted, and the new system we have allows you to adjust that from just an admin form in the app, which should make it a lot easier to change notifications. So I have my status for this week. It was previously set. I'm working from home on Monday. I had 20% capacity. On Thursday, I was in the New York office. You can see that when I set an office, I can choose which office I'm working from, and 40% availability, home on Wednesday, et cetera, et cetera. And if we go down to Friday, I'm saying I'm not working and I'm on leave, and I can add a note saying, going on vacation or whatever I want to add. That will be visible to the different capacity managers that want to look at that. And if I submit that, I'll be able to review all of my statuses that are upcoming. I can also, if I just go back to that really quickly, apply status for next week. So if I want to, do it ahead of time, I can apply basically anything in the future. I can keep going next week. If I know I'm going to be on vacation for a while, or I know exactly what my status is going to be, I can set that up. Back to the home screen, I also want to show, again, the My Profile section. The default working status, this is for anyone, doesn't have to be just for capacity users. And this is just where you're working from. And it's going to recur week after week. So it's a default. We assume most people are going to be working from the same location every week. Again, if you select in office, you can select the office. If you're not working for any reason, you can choose kind of the reason why that's going to happen. And these statuses just of where you're working is going to be visible to everyone in the directory. So people can really quickly see, okay, Brett's in the office today, or he's at home today, which we think will be useful. So now let's go ahead and jump to my work. So this will show work I have applied to and been assigned to. So you can see that status there. And if I'm assigned to work, I can come in here and update the status. So to do, in progress, complete, or blocked. And then the manager will be able to see those updates. And if it's complete, it gets removed there. Now let's go back to the home screen. So let's just review open work opportunities because it's a very similar system. So open work opportunities, this is for anyone to be able to take and apply to. So if I think I am appropriate for this little project, I can click apply, and that will add it to my work. And I'll be able to review that and see if I was assigned to it. Now, managers on the other end, of course, will be able to create the work opportunities, but also review open work opportunities if they need to choose someone. So we'll pick one of these that is live. Let's see if I have, yeah. So I applied to this work opportunity previously. This is my user here, Frederick. And so the manager can come in here and accept, and that will put me as the person in charge of that work opportunity. I can then go in and adjust just the status to say it's in progress or it's completed. And yeah, manager will be able to see all of those details. If they have a different user that they need to change it to, they can change that here as well. And let's go ahead and just create a new work opportunity. So open work opportunities, as I mentioned, are available for anyone to take. but we can also say select a specific person. So I'll add in a title, description of the project, if it's a specific client involved or other project associated, the start date, if there's a specific due date, just set that to next week, time estimate in hours, then the skills that are required. So let's say I want to make sure that it is a German speaker, and the manager that should get responses, I'll set that to myself, but you can add other managers for this. And then I can choose to publish it at a later date if it's not supposed to start for some time. For now, I'll leave it right now. And because I've chosen a specific assignee, when I hit save, it will take me to a screen to choose someone. Now, it's going to filter out the list to people that speak German. Unfortunately, there's no one available in that list, so I can just clear out this filter and choose someone. Let's go back down to Frederick here. And I can see his average capacity for the week. So Frederick only has 36% capacity. And again, you can see that working status of where he is each day in this week. But I can select him and invite him to work on this work opportunity for me. So that's going to send a notification. The user, again, will be able to accept or decline. Of course, if the user declines, I'll have to pick someone else. But just a really quick way to see the capacity and working status and be able to assign people to work. Now, Frederick maybe does speak German. So back on my profile, I may need to add that to my skills list. So users can review the skills list, and that is set by admins. So I can't add, just the word German and then have a slightly different version. I will have to select from the list here that language German, and I'll say I'm an expert. I'm not, by the way, but for this demo purposes, we'll say I am. So now, because I've selected German in my skills list, when a manager creates that work opportunity, I will show up in the list, which I think is a great opportunity for people to be available for additional work. Last thing I wanted to show on the managers section, we'll just go back to the home screen here, is the dashboard. This dashboard lets you jump into that capacity directory that we just saw. So just see a list of people and an overview. But we can also create some reports here. So we choose the week that we want to see. We can also filter down to specific people based on their data. So a specific department or team, whatever I want to look for. We can also have save filters. So if we're running reports regularly, we can just reuse those. I'll go ahead and apply this filter. And it does look very nice on desktop as well. So we can see we're still working on some design here. These aren't going to be all black. We'll have some different colors, but the total capacity for the week. So each day, what is the average capacity across everyone in this report? This is just the one user that I logged capacity for. No one else has capacity logged. Who's working in the office and what days? So there's one person on Thursday, one person on Tuesday, one person at home on Monday, one person at home on Wednesday, and one person not working on Friday. Again, I'm the only user with the capacity, but you can see a quick overview of all of that. Going back to the home screen, last thing I wanted to mention. So managers have all of that ability. Again, admins have the ability to adjust the actual skills. So a list of all the skills that are available for users to add to their profile and managers to select in the list for a work opportunity. And admins can also manage the notifications that are automatically sent by the system. So we have a list of notifications here, and you can adjust that. It is a little bit of coding required. So if you're going to look to adjust that, you may want to reach out to support team. And I think that is it for the demo. Lisa, if you want to take the screen sharing back over.
Thank you very much, Brett. And thank you for the questions that we've had so far. We'll answer them very shortly. There is still a little more time to ask us anything that you'd like to. And I would like to just share with you some simple recommended next steps if you like what you've seen today. So if you haven't yet signed up for Fliplet, it's really easy to, and it's free. Go to fliplet.com/sign up or scan the QR code on screen. All you need to do is select the pre-built solution that best suits your existing content. So in this case, we're looking at the directory, and add in your own content. You can then preview the app and send it to your colleagues for review. Our Fliplet app consultants and support team are on hand via our live chat to help at any time. And if you would like to show us how to do it and how it works, we'd love to meet with you. You can book a meeting by fliplet.com/book-a-meeting, or also scanning the QR code on the screen. So just a summary of what we've covered. We looked at the challenges with current methods of managing employee capacity. We looked at capacity management features overview, the benefits of capacity management features inside your directory, and also have just seen a demo of the capacity management features within the directory solution. So thank you again for all your questions. We do have a few to get through. Brett, most of these are aimed at you. So the first question is, how do I add the capacity management features if I already have a directory solution with Fliplet?
Yeah, so you saw there's a new home screen and some other things that we've changed. You don't necessarily have to take those, but there are a number of new screens, new data sources, and a whole bunch of code that has to be integrated. So I'd strongly recommend reaching out to your customer support representative so they can kind of assist you. Because if your solution isn't exactly the same as the directory, there may have to be some additional steps taken to modify that.
Okay. Thank you very much. The next question is there a way to add holiday calendar per office? So for instance, if you won't be able to add work data, would you be able to add work data for the office holiday, for example?
So I guess there's a couple of ways of doing that. Our kind of date picker component, I think, can be set to block off dates. So if you didn't want people to create work opportunities, filling out capacity, I think you'd maybe have to try to kind of dynamically block off a day. So the answer is probably yes with some custom code. It's not something we've included by default.
Thank you. Can we add skills for a particular group so employees within that group inherit a shared skill set?
Yeah, I mean, the skills list is its own kind of data source. So you could easily add groups of employees. I think it's by an ID number we use in the data source so that if their email or something changes, it won't remove their skills. So you could kind of bulk edit in that way. An interface, we haven't built one. I don't imagine it would be very difficult to be able to create groups of people and assign skills by default.
Thank you. And the last couple of questions. So would this work with Office 365?
I'm not sure in which way you'd integrate it. We have several integrations set up with Microsoft, so potentially I'd probably need to know a little bit more about how you'd want to integrate it to say yes or no. If you're speaking purely from a calendar perspective, I don't think we'd be able to intake data, but we could output data if that makes sense. So something you do inside the app could send something to your Outlook calendar, for example.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then there was a follow-up question about seeing the examples at the start of your demo in desktop view. Would you be able to reshare your screen perhaps and show those?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I did share the home screen and the report screen, as those are kind of the most stylized for different device sizes. But let's go ahead and go back to that really quick. So again, the home screen on mobile and on desktop, you can see we kind of have a whole section here for new joiners and work opportunities. And this menu will hide, of course, if I'm not logged in as a manager. The directory itself, which I don't know if I showed that screen, but if you're not familiar with our solution, this has kind of all of the information about an individual in it. And it just takes a second to load there, but we've modified how the filters look. Obviously a bit different from the mobile view. The capacity screen itself probably is worth seeing. Doesn't change drastically. It's still kind of that form layout, but looks and works fine on desktop. What else could we show? Dashboard, again, maybe just work opportunities. It's just a simple list. And we can split this into 2 columns, but we anticipate there could be some long titles there, so we're not by default. And creating work opportunities for a manager. Again, simple, straightforward form, just kind of fills the center of the screen, but looks good on desktop too.
Excellent. Thank you very much for showing those. I think we've reached the end of our questions. So I would just like to take this opportunity to tell you about our upcoming webinars that you might be interested in. Next Wednesday on the 15th, we have our 6th AI webinar. We're very excited about AI here at Fliplet. And we're taking a look at how AI-enhanced event apps will save you time and deliver value next year. The following week, we're running a webinar focused on in-app and push notification strategies to drive engagement with your apps. On Wednesday, the 22nd of November, and then looking forward to the following week on the 29th of November, we have our Fliplet Summit, which includes a keynote from our CEO and a client presentation from EV Logistics, plus demos of our upcoming feature releases, really one not to be missed. And you can take a look at all of our upcoming webinars and events at fliplet.com/events. Well, that is all from myself and Brett today. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you at another Fliplet webinar soon.